we've kind of been taking some time off this year to write a new record. Our lead singer Jeff had a baby, his first baby. So it's been a kind of a easier year for us, not a big heavy tour, but we have managed to put this out, which is the new record, Tesla Twisted Wires, which has 2 brand new songs on it. And then it has some older stuff, but it's kind of acoustic stuff. So this is the 20th anniversary this year of the 5-Man Acoustic Jam. And we're going to go out in November and do a few month-long legs in America, and then probably some overseas dates in Asia and Australia with the 5-Man Acoustic Jam, and kind of put that to bed once and for all, because a lot of people haven't seen it. Even when we did that record in 1991, we only did 5 shows, so we've only done about 7 of them total. Cool thing, when I met my hero Jimmy Page, he knew all about the 5-Man Acoustic Jam record we did. He had it, and he said, "I really like your record." And I was blown away. I said, "I didn't even think you knew who I was." He said, "Absolutely, I have your record." And what he said to me was that, I said, "Well, we didn't invent it." He said, "No, but you were the first one to do a live, all acoustic live record, before Clapton, before Rod Stewart, before Nirvana, so I guess we kind of, we didn't invent it, but we've kind of been torturing people with it, Even though we've made 9 or 10 records, I think the one everyone will remember will be the 5-Man Acoustic Jam, because it was so big. I mean, it was like 3.5 million copies or something, and all our other records went platinum, but that one was special, I think, because it was so kind of outside the box at the time, But I mean, we didn't invent it. I mean, Led Zeppelin were playing acoustic on 3, the Beatles were, Help was a real acoustic sounding record, a lot of acoustic guitars. But we've always had acoustic guitars on our songs, and, the electric records have always had acoustics blended with electrics and stuff. So it was fun to do. The one thing is, we never really sit down and say, well, we're going to do this, or, we're going to do that, and try to do some concept record, or, basically all a record is for Tesla is a snapshot of the time, so what will the record sound like? It'll sound like Tesla, because Jeff Keith has a really distinctive voice, and anytime he opens his mouth, it's like, oh, that's that guy from Tesla, so it'll sound like Tesla in 2012, although we're writing it now in 2011, no one will hear it till 2012, but it'll be along the lines of any other record we've ever done. I mean, we don't rely on what we've done before. We're not going to try to make mechanical resonance again, because you can't. I mean, it's like I said, it's just a snapshot. So, Tesla's a melodic, hard rock, blues-based band. So it'll be the same thing. There'll be acoustics, there'll be electrics. You'll hear Jeff Keith's voice. It'll be big sounding, and we're kind of in that phase where Jeff's been getting together with Frank, and they've been kicking around some ideas, and I got to turn in my ideas, and Dave has to turn in his ideas, because Jeff usually writes most of the lyrics, has historically. And then we'll all get together as a band, and everyone will show everyone their ideas, and we'll put them together as a band and see where we're at. We'll do that a couple times, and I think after that, then we'll be ready to record a new album. Still call it an album, but we did put out our last record on vinyl, so I guess I can call it an album. I like that word. I'm putting out a new album. I don't like the word CD. What people may or may not know is that when Tesla first started, our band was called City Kid, and Ronnie Montrose produced our first demos. And from the band that you see, Tesla, today, it was me, Jeff, and Frank were in the band. Tommy Scio hadn't joined, or Troy Luccketta. And he did 4 songs with us, but the one song that he turned us on to that we did was Little Susie, which is a big song on our first record, Mechanical Resonance. And it's funny, I've known Ronnie 30 years, because I was just a kid when we did that. And, we went on after that and had to do other demos and stuff before we got signed. But we kept that Little Susie song, and we changed it from the original version that we had done with Ronnie. But one day it will come out in a box set, if Universal will let Tesla put out their box set, if you're looking. But Ronnie said, he always jokes around with people we know, Tesla owe me a flat screen TV. So last year, I went and bought, Tesla. Went and bought like some 65-inch flat screen TV, and I drove to a gig he was playing at, and pulled up right next to his dressing room, and he looks at me and goes, "What the hell are you doing here?" And I said, "Hang on." I jumped out, opened the back of this SUV, and pulled out this big flat screen TV and said, "Here, man, this is for you." And he actually started crying. He was really touched by it, and he's great. I love Ronnie. He's one of the greatest, guitar players of all time. So that's Tesla and Ronnie Montrose story. So when you listen to Little Susie, everyone else thinks, "Oh, Tesla." We didn't even write the song. The song was written by some guys in France, and he knew about him because he's pretty switched on. So now you have to think about Ronnie Montrose. If it wasn't for Ronnie Montrose, there'd be no Tesla or Little Susie. I have a band called Soul Motor that I'm in. That when Tesla broke up in 1995, we broke up for 5 years. I started another band called Soul Motor with a friend of mine who I grew up with. He was this really cool singer, really creative guy. And we just released our 4th record since 1995. We did a couple when Tesla was broken up. Once Tesla got back together, he makes like monster movies and gore movies and stuff. And I was doing Tesla, but last year we said, well, it's time to do another record. Let's do one. We're kind of both in slow periods. He's not making any movies, and Tesla's taking a bit of a breather, and so he put out a new record called Wrong Place at the Right Time. And then I have my own record label, which is Good Seed Music, and management company, which is Good Seed Management, and we develop young bands. So we have a band called Built by Stereo that came out this week, which is kind of I don't know what you would call it. I guess everyone has to put some kind of title on it, but maybe indie rock. They kind of remind me of a My Chemical Romance type band. They're younger kids, and we're developing bands and stuff. So I stay pretty busy.
I guess so.
And I produce and the whole thing. Have my own studio, and today's day and age, you have to do it all yourself. Back when I started, you had the big record companies, and you could send a demo, and they would sign you. That's how they signed Tesla. But today, you've got to go out and do it all on your own, and then the big record company will sign you. And my point is if you got to do it all on your own to a point where they want to sign you, might as well do it yourself. So I've kind of set up a company where artists can do it themselves. The music industry today is a bit like the Wild West. It's changing. There's no, people are trying all kinds of new stuff.